This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly OMFL podcast show. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me tonight. It seems to be a quiet crew. It's only Dakota. It's just me and Dakota. At least that's what YouTube is telling me right now. It's okay. It's a Monday night. It's a crazy night. I keep forgetting. I gotta turn on low latency, whatever it's called, just so that I can have that real-time interaction. My technology is not playing nice, as always. Like, that is a theme with Nate, is my iPad's not wanting to work tonight. It's working, it's just not wanting to connect, but it's all good. We're going to dig into it, man. I think it's some interesting things with the NFL draft that just happened a couple of days ago. We can really look at how that might affect some of the OMFL imports. So if you are new to checking out the OMFL, or you're new in the OMFL, we allow every team to take one player from the current Madden that they're in into the next Madden. And so sometimes the NFL draft will kind of affect who the owner is going to choose as we go into it. But let's just dig into a couple of the latest updates and games, and let's have some fun with it. So you can see I got the chat up, we got the new overlay rocking and rolling. Let's look at some games from these past weeks. It's I gotta admit, this is the harder part of doing Press Pass Live right now, just because that's not what I want. There's a lot of CPU games, there's a lot of sim games, there's a lot of games that I don't know if they're being played or not, so that just makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of go through some of these. But let's look at some of the games. Tennessee and Jacksonville putting up tons of points, and look at Jacksonville, 42 points. That's not what Brady's strength usually is. They scored 21 in the fourth quarter. What would that be? 28-32, I think is my math. 30. No. 28, 35, yeah, not 32, 35 points. Jeez, what's wrong with me? 35 points scored in the fourth quarter combined. So these teams were going at it, playing really good offense, but not a lot of defense, which is kind of the theme for this last season. I guess you turn abilities off and the offense is just kind of having their way. I think it's pass rush, right? That's the biggest thing that we've seen happen this season. Pass rush has affected these scores tremendously. Derrick Henry and Saban getting it done, 43 yards, 108, so 152 yards, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But Ben Morris, 17 for 90 and 3 touchdowns. Gallup, 8 for 146. Chenault, 7 for 126. At least they're receivers, so we can at least look at that. Carolina and Tampa Bay played to a close one. I don't know if this one actually got played. I haven't heard from Big Hurt in quite some time. Dallas and Pittsburgh with a good one, 26-19. Chicago and Green Bay, 17-26, which reminds me, we have our first FPR court game so far this season, and so I get to look at that tonight, and I get to go dig into that. So that'll be a whole lot of fun. Denver and Baltimore, 14-24. That's a really good game. Cleveland and Las Vegas, 30-42. a 21-13 win for Buffalo, a 28-31 victory for New England, a good game against Pepper and Bloop, and then a 42-38 for Rob and the Washington football team against the Philadelphia Eagles. So a couple of really good games there. Let's look at some early surprises, some games that really stuck out to me. This also goes if you have not. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm talking to myself again. Usually it logs into YouTube, and it logged into YouTube yesterday, and today it's not logging into YouTube. But anyway, if you did not submit any owner submitted questions, come hop in here. Hop into the chat and come talk with me a little bit. Let's look at a couple of early games. What's that mean, Dakota? OMFL. I'm a little confused by that. None of these teams surprise you, right? 6-0 Cowboys, 5-0 Chiefs, 6-0 Cardinals. It's good to see the Falcons winning. I mean, he dominated me 2 games, so a little less than half of his games been against a subpar opponent. But the Falcons playing really good football. Lions right there, Browns right there. They've been a really, really good team. 136 points against the Bears have bounced back this season, at least early on at 4-2. The Colts at 4-2. Ravens bouncing back at 4-2. Titans hanging in tough. Vikings hanging in tough. And then you start to kind of get to a couple like the up and down teams that you don't really know, who's going to step up and who's not. So a couple of those are surprises, especially when it comes to the Falcons at 5-0 and as dominant as those teams have been. Nothing really surprising here. It's good to see the Bengals playing more competitive football there. Titans and Colts look like they want to battle out. Jaguars are hanging right there, though, but 252 points against for their defense that's not Brady football. That's not what he's good at. He's going to have to figure that out if he's going to compete. And boy, my guy Roger, the wheels have fallen off. He started out 1-0. He's red hot, and I started to claim that I thought he was going to be the guy here, and I think I jinxed him because 237 points against him and 146 points puts him at almost the top in defense and almost the bottom in offense. So not really good there for the Texans. Here's the division that no one's wanted to win in many, many seasons. And so who is Bloop going to win this one by default? I don't know. We'll have to see. AFC West has been dominated by the Chiefs for quite some time. The Chargers dominated me. They have a really great offense, and their defense against me at least played really, really good. Raiders can't quite get things figured out over there, and then the Broncos. I barely squeaked out to win against the Raiders. They're a really good team, but I don't know. Everybody feels really good whenever they play me. NFC North, Bears hanging right there, Vikings hanging right there. This could be a fun division. I think the Packers have a really good team and could play spoiler, but his points for his offense are way, way down, and that's not what I really expected. I almost want to flip-flop these two numbers right here. Falcons 5-0, Panthers, Bucks, Saints, all kind of struggling right here. Panthers, I think, will turn it around at the back end of the season. Again, I don't know if Big Hurt's even around to turn it around. NFC East, Cowboys doing what the Cowboys do. 94 points against his team. That's unbelievable is what that is. The Washington football team, look for this team to be open soon. I don't think it's any secret. There's the word I'm looking for. I think he's going to quit in the next week if he doesn't quit in the next 24 hours. And that's really sad because Rob has been a cornerstone here for a couple of Maddens and has been a big asset, but when you get turned off, you get turned off. I have no clue what's up with Mo. I don't know if it's life the baby or just doesn't give a poop anymore. This division's another one that you've got the Rams who've just struggled to kind of find his footing with this team. 0-0's been checked out for about 6 Maddens now. Peppers had an up and down season this year, but overall has been up and trending in the up. But it's the last season. Who knows what's going to happen? Giving 2 more losses and probably going to be checked out for the rest of the season. It happens to all of us. Once you going to hit that limit where you're like, I'm done. What's going to happen? Guys start to check out, right? Guys start to to not worry about it so much. Let's look at a couple stats leaders before we dig into the NFL draft. 5-10. That's an embarrassment. Sorry, Dwayne. Stalker having a great season. 13-17. Those numbers aren't really impressive, and you kind of want to see. Matter of fact, his comp numbers are pretty low, but man, he's putting up tons of yards. Divine, kind of the same situation right there. Herbert having a good touchdown to interception ratio. Riley Worthington, that's unbelievable. 22-4 with a 66%. Beasley, this guy was terrible. Dwayne has turned him into a starting wide receiver in this league, which is pretty amazing. 11-3 with 77%. Haskins having a pretty good year. I mean, he struggled against me. These numbers are skewed because of that game, but he's having a really good season. Where's Mahomes? He's much further down this list yards-wise, but 14-5 at 62%. Gibson, 111 for 608. Morris, 588. Sabian, the rookie, with 534. And Carson with 525. And then you got a couple of touchdown leaders here with 8 and 9. A bunch of 7s and 8s as well. Henry Ruggs, man, this guy puts up big points, big plays. He is a deep threat, exceptional player that he just knows how to find openings for this guy. 9 touchdowns already, 1,154 yards. He's going to bust way past 2,000. Schuster, 99. And then N'Keal Henry. You got Miles Lashley, the rookie. Of course, that's what Colin likes to do, 730 and 7. And then he'll 21 receptions for 691. That's a big average, 32.9 and 7. Wow, Judy with 10 touchdowns already. So a couple guys with some exceptional offensive stats. I mean, we can look at defense, but it has not been pretty on the defensive side of the ball. Let's look at the stats that really matter. Right tackles for losses, 8 from Muse, Edmonds, Landry, and Gary. Looking at sacks, they're not actually too bad, but down compared to the other seasons, I suppose. 8, 6.5, 6.5, 4.5. That's kind of where the big drop-off is. You probably usually see a couple more of these guys in the top. And then Imran Mitchell doing what he's been doing for quite some time in this league with 6. Brown with 6. Jalen Johnson, and Marvin Beckham with 5 each. And then a bunch of guys with 4. So a couple of good teams there with some pretty decent offensive players. Looks like my internet is taking a poop again, which is not surprising at all. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So, all right, let's pick up some NFL draft. I have not done this, so this is going to be kind of a new. I have not looked through this. I have no clue who has gotten who. We're going to look at like first and second round picks, and then see if we think that might affect some of the imports here. So let's look over here. We'll go to lineups. We'll go to rosters. Let's start with the Cardinals. It should come up, right? Yeah, I got the Cardinals here. All right, so let's get over to the Cardinals real quick. Again, if you want to submit some questions, now is the time to do that. We'll go and look at those here in just a little bit. Oh, looks like it's locking up for you guys, huh? It's unbelievable. Let me see. Guys, I have no clue what's going on. I tried to do a quick speed test whenever I seen Ross's message. I have no clue what's going on, man. It is what it is. And now everything's lagging. Oh my gosh. It feels like the harder I try, the worse things go here. Give me 1 second. All right, we're going to sync up the audio. We should be all synced up. All right, let's talk about a couple of these NFL players and how we think it could affect the imports that happen. Let's get over here and look at the NFL draft. They took Zaylen Collins, outside linebacker from Tulsa. They also took in the second round Rondell Moore out of Purdue, a wide receiver. If you look at his team, let's see, how can I do this? I guess I don't really have a great way of doing this. But he's probably gonna. No, I don't know that he's gonna need a receiver. He's gonna have some aging receivers. You know, he's gonna have the quarterback already. He's gonna. A halfback could definitely be something that he takes over with him. The NFL draft would not have changed that. If you look at outside linebacker for him, I don't see that changing a whole lot for him. I think he pretty much can pick up just about anybody and play them at linebacker, and he plays really well with them. Just kind of thinking through his roster off the top of my head, I think it's going to be offense. It's probably going to be somebody that he drafts in this last draft. You can see he has a pretty older 18. That's not right. He's 31. He's got an older roster. Let's see. It's under age. That could be a guy that wouldn't surprise me if he took with him. Could bring Barry Carey. What a name, huh? That could be definitely a possible import right there. And I don't think the NFL draft would have changed any of that. So I don't think the NFL draft really affects what we're going to see happen from the Cardinals. Let's look at Atlanta. We're just going to go through a couple of these, and then we'll pick up the rest of them on the next Press Pass Live. I think this would be a fun little thing that we can do, keep people engaged. Let's look at the Atlanta Falcons real quick. They took Kyle Pitts, of course. I guess it doesn't really matter what else they took. They took an offensive tackle out of Michigan, and that's going to be where I think the weakness for the Atlanta Falcons is going to come in, is going to be the offensive line. If you look at age, just kind of looking at this real quick, he's got McAdams. This guy's a pretty decent player, a little low on the 72 overall. The safety, Zach Hall, could definitely be an import for him, especially with him losing Neal. I know that's going to be something that really hurts his team. Armstrong, left tackle, that could be another guy that he imports, even though the Atlanta Falcons have put a lot into their offensive line. So I don't know that the NFL draft affects that much. Not many people are going to bring over tight ends because guys like to kind of pick those guys up and draft them. So I don't know that you're going to see a whole lot from him either. Baltimore. Let's see what the Baltimore got. They got Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver out of Minnesota, and Iway, I think is his name, outside linebacker out of Penn State. Let's come look at our buddy Nipples and his Ravens. We're just doing this by age, which probably isn't necessarily the best thing to do. He's got strong safety, Brandon Hawkins, 75 overall, coming out of Lafayette. That could definitely be a guy that he brings up. He's got 88 speed, so maybe not. Guys like to bring over dudes with lots of those those attributes that you can't really work on. Will Cunningham, maybe. He's got a pretty low overall. Ben Booth, there's a guy that he might bring over. 76 overall. He's a superstar, 88 speed, 89 acceleration. Here's the one thing that we don't know. Here's another guy, Larry Gore. He could definitely bring over, even though I know the Ravens picked up a guy. Here's the thing that we just won't know. It's not going to be decided, and I think it may ruffle some feathers, but we have to see what the new game gives us. We have to see what it plays like. We have to see kind of all those things. Now I'm desynced again. I didn't fix my hair or nothing. I look like a hot mess. Oh my God. What am I doing? I gotta stop doing these shows. Anyway, what I was trying to say before I got sidetracked, we might turn abilities off. And so people should be kind of prepared that that's going to be up in the air. And we're going to be figuring that out as we go. And I think that's going to affect who guys bring over. Buffalo, Gregory Rousseau. Where's Gregory? Oh, Miami. Defensive end. And we already know that Outlaw loves his defensive ends. And then Carlos Basham Jr., Wake Forest defensive end. So 2 defensive ends taken for Buffalo. He already has a ton of good defensive ends that he brought over this past Madden. He really is good at building a defense. I know he also asked for a lot of help. It is a little up in the air if Outlaw is going to be able to make the leap with us to PlayStation. I think we're going to assume that he can. He's got a ton of right ends, so this may change Outlaw's strategy. Here's a guy that it wouldn't surprise me if Outlaw brought with him. Anthony Robertson, 95 speed, 23 years old, 75 overall. Marvin Herbert, here's a guy, 79 overall with 91 speed. Leak could possibly be another guy. So I'm going to assume defense whenever it comes to Outlaw. I think that's really what he's going to take. J.C. Horn, we're going to go to the Carolina Panthers. J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. Boo that. I think the Carolina Panthers had an amazing draft. And then Terrence Marshall out of LSU. I think, I don't know. Let's go look at the Carolina Panthers because we know that they have their quarterback. Is he going to... How old is he now? He's 29. So he'll be 30 when we get into the new Madden. It's a big salary that he's going to have to take over with him. It would be great to see Donald come over and finish and retire next Madden. I don't know that he's going to do that, though. That would be an interesting one. What do you guys think the Carolina Panthers? This is probably the toughest one that I've been able to try to look at. Let's look at a couple age guys. If we were looking at some of these younger dudes, DeAndre Frost definitely could be somebody who comes over, but you already have Jackson. You already have J.C. Horn. Are you going to take over a third or fourth cornerback and try to deal with one of those other guys? I don't know, man. It's something that we've seen the Cardinals do. Dean Heath, a receiver that could go. Shamar Goings, free safety that could possibly go. Benzel Curse, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know, probably not. Who cares? It's a Madden player. He could definitely go over. He's going to be tough with some really tough choices. That's going to be a tough one. Let's go look at the Chicago Bears. All right, Chicago Bears bought over Justin Fields, so he has his quarterback. And then Tevin Jenkins, Oklahoma State offensive tackle. Again, if we're just looking at age, which doesn't necessarily mean everything here, he's got his quarterback. That kind of opens. He's got some really good players here. I mean, this right end could definitely come over. It depends on if he's going to run 4-3-3-4. Fisher could definitely come over. The guy's got speed, age. Bullard, here's a cornerback that could definitely come over if he wanted to. There's Roman Reese. He could definitely use a receiver. I think that's what you're going to see here. I think you're going to see a receiver. He's going to pair him up with Justin Fields and have some pretty dynamic duos. The Cincinnati Bengals, they take Jamar Chase, number 1, and then Jackson Carman, number 2, an offensive tackle. And that, again, is going to be the big weakness for this team. Again, just looking at age real quick. Matt Zimmerman's a good player. 79 overall, 21 years old, a rookie. He could definitely be somebody that he would look at bringing over. He's got a couple of defensive tackles. Definitely not going to be a receiver, right? This is a good player. Earl Beverly, 78 overall, 23 years old. Maybe. Michael Stevens, he could definitely be somebody you could bring over. You bring over a left tackle like this guy, 24 years old, 70 overall. It's kind of low. Here's a guy, Brian Ford, out of Alabama. That might be a good good player to bring over. It's not sexy, right? It doesn't feel good, but it could be a really good guy that you could bring over with you. Matt Garland, that's who you're going with? Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, man. He's faster than some receivers in this league. He's faster than most linebackers in this league. Yeah, he could be a really, really good player for you. Let's look at Cleveland Browns. They took Greg Newsome, the second, out of Northwestern. They took Jeremiah out of Notre Dame, inside linebacker. Browns are all about that defense, even though I think Massimo, to me, is a more offensive player. Oh, he's got a really good tight end, doesn't he? No, that's not the Browns. Here we go. I think he's drafted a couple really good defensive players. Xavier, rookie, 91 speed, 75 overall, 22. He would be tough not to bring over, especially when I think about that team. They could use some cornerback help. Stanford's a low overall, but he's got some really good intangibles. Tight end, left tackle. I don't know. That guy's already 24, so maybe he's not worth bringing over. Now we're starting to get into his really good players. A receiver, right outside linebacker, quarterback. No, it's low overall. That could be an interesting one. I mean, you already got Newsome coming over. You got this inside linebacker from Notre Dame. If Massimo continues to build his team the way we've seen, then he definitely could be bringing some defense. Let's talk about our buddy Dwayne. I don't know if you guys seen as well. I'm also in the chat. I don't know if y'all see me in there in the Discord voice chat. All right, our boy Dwayne, your team took Micah Parsons. This dude is a superstar. I was hoping Saints would get up there and try to draft him. And then Kelvin Joseph out of Kentucky, a cornerback. That's what Dwayne's about, right? Defense, and more defense. Dwayne, are you leaning one way or the other? I think just going by overall, really good tight end right here, man. It'd be hard not to take. I don't know. I'm off again. Why does this keep getting unsynced and desynced? And it's driving me insane. I promise you, I really do put effort to do these things, even though tonight it looks like a crap show. Dwayne, I'm not seeing a whole lot to get too excited about here. Justin Riddick, a really good player, 88 speed, 83 overall, 25. He'd be a really good player to add to an already pretty loaded defense. I mean, just unless you pick up somebody in this next draft, which could definitely happen, Riddick or Bass. Yeah, Bass is really good. And then Riddick, I think, is the kid I just looked at, right? Yeah, Bass is really good. He would be at 21 years old, man. He'd probably be 99 overall by the time you finish building him up. That would be a fun one. Let's look at Denver, which we just talked about a few seconds ago, who has also a really good defensive end. A tight end. Patrick Surtain the second, and then Javonte Williams out of North Carolina, a running back. I think he already has a lot of running backs. Man, this would be a tough tight end to not take over with you. I mean, that's not sexy, but if he needs offensive line, I don't know a lot about the real-life Broncos offensive line. Cornerback's a little low overall. That's a good defensive tackle in Bush, 78 overall, 23 years old. That could be a really fun player. Brandon Golson could be a fun player to bring over. Don't love the speed at 90, but it's pretty serviceable. A left tackle in Dorian Brooks. Offensive linemen are not sexy to bring over, but sometimes they really help out your team. Let's talk about our Lions. I don't know if Bill's here tonight, but I promise Bill, I just been too busy to watch the video. I just need to look at the video, pretty much know which way I'm going. Panay Sewell, am I on the right team? Oh yeah, offensive tackle out of Oregon, right? Yeah, out of Oregon. And then Levi out of Washington, a defensive tackle. So they really invested into their defense. It would be fun to see him bring his cornerback over. That guy's probably going to be ancient by the time we actually make the move over. This kid can play here. 74 overall, 22 years old, defensive tackle. Strength already 92. Evan Williams, this guy could be a superstar if you bring him over and build him up just a little bit more. There's another one, Brendan Golden. What's his strength? 87 overall strength, 78 speed, 81 overall at 23 years old though. I forgot about Derby and all these other guys. These are really, really good players. There's so many messages going on in here. Freaking Smash and his big old long messages. Yes, Smash, you've got some really good players to bring over. That's funny, Pepper. All right, let's get back over here. I think he's got to take one of his superstars, right? 25 and 24 years old. They're plenty young enough. They're going to cost him a pretty dime, though. Both of them, I think, have to be coming up for contract now. Maybe they picked up their fifth-year option, so he's going to be taking them over in the last year of their contracts. Let's do three more. We'll do Green Bay. Eric Stokes, cornerback out of Georgia, and then Josh Myers, a center out of Ohio State. Who knows what our buddy Priest is going to do with this team? He likes his offensive firepower, right? Ooh. Kyle Jett, 95 speed cornerback, 81 overall at 23. He'd probably have to be the guy, right? Strong safety, Heel, 88 speed, probably not going to be the guy. Dennis Kemp, 87 overall, 88 speed, outside linebacker. Again, going to be coming up on like the rookie year of their contract. It's going to be between him and this cornerback, I think. So I don't think this draft affects it that much outside of maybe you lean to the cornerback because you already have Stokes, who will be a pretty decent player. And so maybe you pair up Jets and Stokes to go with, who's their superstar? I forget the guy's name. Alexander Jair. That could be a hell of a tandem there. But then again, maybe you take the linebacker, right? Because you already have the two cornerbacks coming out of Madden. Looks like the internet's hiccuping again. Yeah, Ross, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. He's got a heck of a choice there to make. All right, let's do Houston, Indy, and Jacksonville, and then we'll wrap it up a night and take even some quick questions. Davis Mills, a quarterback out of Stanford. Oh, that's right. They didn't have a pick till round 3. I don't think that's gonna. That's not good, Raj. I'm so sorry. That's not good. Who knows what's going to be with your quarterback by the time we get into Madden 22? Oh, Raj, you got to tell me what you're thinking. I think I read that you said you don't have your import on this team yet. You have to try to draft one in this next one. Just looking at a couple of these guys. This guy's not bad. I mean, his speed isn't that impressive, but he's a big guy. You put him in a 3-4. He's a pretty good player. James isn't too bad. Winston needs some help, but his stats aren't too bad. Heel might be not a bad player to bring over. I don't even know the Texans' real-life running back, so that might be a good player to bring over with you. Got a couple offensive linemen there they could go. Earl Bodden, he could definitely come over at 89 strength. It's not as bad as you made it sound. Ralph Weaver, again, not sexy. This guy's already 81 overall. Carter, you got two players there that could definitely come over. At 25, that's fine. You can definitely build that up. That's a tough one. I'm interested to see what you're going to do because I think that can make for a tough one. You don't have to stay if you can find somebody to trade with you. Let's look at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to have to take a quarterback. I mean, my hands are tied. There's no way I can play with Jameson and Hill. Like, that's not going to be a thing. I'm going to have to take a quarterback. I don't think I have an option there. Indianapolis Colts took Kwity Paye. Is it Paye? I don't know. I'm terrible at names. You guys know that. A defensive end out of Michigan. And Dayo, I'm not even going to try the last name, but out of Vanderbilt, another defensive end. So 2 defensive ends for the Indianapolis Colts coming over. Not a bad player there in Paul Meredith. Gerald Tatum. That's got to be the guy, right? 23 years old, already 85 overall, 91 speed. Don't love the acceleration, but that's a player. Got a tight end and a receiver there that would maybe be worth thinking about. They're older. I mean, I don't think that the NFL drafts changes anything at all for him. He's got to take Tatum unless he gets some kind of weird good draft pick on this next draft. Who we got next? Jacksonville and Kansas City. Oh, yeah, of course, Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence, even though it's probably going to go to waste with poor Brady. Just kidding, Brady. And he's got Travis Etienne. That's going to be interesting, right? Does he take Ben? How's Ben now? Ben's 24, 99 overall, and then it would be hard not to take Ben Morris. I mean, I don't even know who else you look at on this team. This team's going to need a lot of help moving into Madden. And like he's got Lawrence and Etienne, Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia, Walker Little, offensive tackle out of Stanford. I don't know if that's going to be another interesting pick to see what Brady does with that team. Yeah, he's got to. He's got to take BMO. Who do we say? Oh, yeah, last one, Kansas City Chiefs. Who cares who the Kansas City Chiefs? They're going to be stacked. The only thing I can hope for is that his cap is so terribly bad. I just hope he makes it to Madden 22, if I'm honest, though. He's one of our many checked-out owners. He took Nick Bolton. What do we... Oh, inside linebacker out of Mizzou. And then Creed Humphrey, a center out of Oklahoma. Does it matter who he takes? I mean, my assumption would be defense. I mean, there's a guy right there, Corey Drummond, 88 speed, 74 overall, 23 years old. Or you just draft the very best player that you can, and if it doesn't beat that dude, then you take Corey. I don't even know if that's worth a discussion to even look at. Well, he can't do it until season number. Oh no, I think we did say you could trade NFL. You could trade NFL rookies if you wanted to. All right. See now. Oh gosh, my tech has been giving me trouble all day. Now it's desynced again because now it's working the way it's supposed to work. Keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right, let's look at any owner submitted questions. I don't know if we do or do not have any. It's so slow. By the way, while we're getting over here, I think it's here. While we're getting over here, we put out some new YouTube short videos and some new Grown Folks news videos. You would be doing me a massive favor to go give me a like, maybe answer a question in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, do a subscribe, do a share. Help me out, get our content out. It would be massively, massively helpful. I would really, really appreciate it. So it looks like we've got no questions. Dwayne, you were the last one that wanted to ask a question, and I think we got to all of those. So no, man, Taysom Hill, I think he had 82 throwing power. Like, it was worse than Drew Brees. I mean, it was that bad. Next time I'll fix my hair. My hair looks terrible tonight on stream. Jeez. I was like, it won't look too bad. I don't need a haircut yet. But no, it looks terrible. So, yeah, Taysom Hill would not be good. That would be really bad. I think I'm gonna take my dude, even though he's gonna be hard to pay, because I think he'll be 2 more years on a contract if I pick up his 5th-year option, which, I'll do that. But, yeah, I mean, I got to. 94 throwing power, mid-90s, and it'll be probably mid-90s by the time we get to all that. And it'll be nerfed like we always do for imports. But, yeah, I mean, it's a guy I got to bring with me. So, all right, before we get out of here and call it a night, it's already been an hour. I can't believe we've been doing this for an hour. What questions might anybody have before we call it a night and get everybody out of here for the night? Taysom Hill. Get out of here with that. It's too much. Can't do Taysom. Any big games coming up? Again, it's hard to say. So many people are checked out. I did a little call out last time on Press Pass Live, trying to get some more content. I don't think it helped. I haven't seen any new content. Love to see some new content from you guys. It'd be pretty amazing. Chiefs and Browns, that could be a good one. Massimo's going to need to swing for the fences there. Kobe's playing so good right now. It'd be hard for Priest to knock him out. Poor Raj. Raj just hit a speed bump, so clearly Smash is playing good football. That could be a good one. Brady versus Beal. I don't know if Big Hurt is playing. If he is, this could be a fun one. These two dudes, legitimately, maybe not. I could have that wrong, but I think legitimately have heat. Is Mo not playing? Does anybody even know? I don't even know if Mo's playing. Wait, Hurt didn't have a baby, did he? I know Hurt had some house issues. Panthers Saints, I hope I can make it a good game. I haven't proven that in a bit. That could be a good game, Pepper and Denver. And then, yeah, I don't think anything's going to do that. Do I see major owner movement? Like different divisions. I'm glad that you gave me the qualifier there. I do see massive owner movement. But not because guys are swapping conferences. I'm about to cut the fat. I mean, I just have to. I don't... how can I say this? I'm trying to think what's the best way to phrase what I want to say. I'm a loyal guy. I want loyalty back. And so whenever we have owners that check out in the last season, when they stop trying, they don't, they're tired of the game, and they got other things to go do, and they don't give an attempt. I don't want to invite people back. And so this season's been so bad. I think we're gonna have open teams before the end of the season. And what I will probably do is not. I've struggled with this. If we do get open teams before the end of the season, I may not fill them because it's almost a throwaway season anyway. And we don't know what's happening with PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, which is going to open up a whole new crop of worms. And so there's like a lot up in the air, a lot that we have to decide and look at. And but I do think there's going to be some owner turnover because guys have checked out. And if guys are checking out, then you have to find somewhere else to play. And this thing went off sync again. Just stupid. And I'm about tired of it. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're gonna lose some owners just because things didn't work out this last season, and I think we're going to have some player movement because guys like Raj, right, are taking over teams, or if I feel open teams, those guys aren't going to want to stay there. I think, like Pepper already said, right, some guys are going to want to change divisions. I think we'll see over under 5. Like that's kind of the line there. I think we'll see some like right around there, 4 to 6. I think is going to be the number. The one big unknown is who knows what's going to happen with how many owners cannot make the move because of PlayStation 5, either because they don't want to or they just can't. I hope there is no can'ts and there's more I just don't want to's. But we'll see. I heard that PlayStation 5 was even talking about a redesign so that they could get more consoles out. I don't know. I don't work for either one of them, so we'll see. All right, guys. This has been fun. Sorry for all the technical issues, which is a theme with me lately. Boo me. Do I have gifts up here? I don't know. Let's see. No. Oh, yeah, I did. That's what I feel like right now. Or I feel like this.
Oh, boy. Oh, it's such a nice day.
Like technology snuck up on me, hit me with a pan. And the internet just kind of is what it is. I'm so over the internet. Guys, I love you. Come check out some of our new content. If you are into leadership and relationship content, spiritual content, check out my other YouTube page, Home Church 217. And then also my personal website, natelejeune.com. So come check me out. Come hang out with me and support some of our new news content that we're putting out. And help us out. We really appreciate it. All right, guys. Love you. Hope you have a great rest of the week. And probably some PUBG tomorrow. So if you're into PUBG, come hang out with me, all right? Peace and love.